It took a year until the pathology report was released, and everything we had said was right. The left lung had been collapsed. There was no evidence for tumors, nothing. He did have cancer cells in his body, obviously, but this big tumor that they were telling 80 million people in Germany that came from taking vitamins and for which Dr. Rath is personally responsible was a fata morgana. Accordingly, nothing was undertaken. No procedures were being opened against the parents or me, because we were right. Because of that failure to bring me to prison on the case of Dominic, the pharmaceutical industry was looking for another possibility to eliminate Dr. Rath from this field of medicine. They started an investigation that our vitamins, the vitamin progress we researched, documented, we're recommending to patients are drugs, prescription drugs that are being sold without a license. 12 pounds of so-called evidence was collected by the state prosecutor of Hamburg. In parallel, the media set in, including the British Medical Journal. When is he finally burning at the stake? That was the background of this article in the BMJ. If you want to know more about this case of Dominic, we have documented everything I said, including the pictures, medical reports, etc., on our website with the help of the parents of Dominic. So on July 22, 2006, the BMJ published an article alleging what I just said, that I'm standing trial for fraud in connection with the death of Dominic. It was an absurd, open lie. Accordingly, we filed a lawsuit in Great Britain, Germany too. Finally, on September 23, 2006, after a British judge described the BMJ's accusation as among the most severe ever, the BMJ finally agreed to publish a retraction and apology. We now accept, they wrote, that the allegations we published were without foundation. And in the circumstances, the BMJ wishes to set the record straight and to apologize to Dr. Rath for publishing these allegations. They specifically referred to this case of Dominic. They wrote, we had published in the BMJ and on the website an article and reported that Dr. Rath had gone on trial in Hamburg for fraud. In this context, we suggested that Dr. Rath stood accused of the serious crime of fraud in relation to the death in 2004 of Dominic Feld. That he was culpably responsible for Dominic Feld's death, and in particular that he had improperly pressured Dominic Feld's parents into refusing to allow hospital doctors to amputate the boy's infected leg. Every sentence was a lie. Nothing was true. Worse, By going to the prosecutor's website, the BMJ could have verified that this is a lie. They didn't. They were so eager to see Dr. Rath burn at the stake. The trial in Hamburg ended with the judge saying, Dr. Rath is not a charlatan. He is likely a pioneer for new ways in controlling cancer. He called me an honorable man in front of the entire press of Germany. I went up to him later and I said, thanks for the fairness. But it was not my face or the speeches given. It was the science that was presented during these 2 days of hearing that he could not ignore. That was the weapon. And precisely that is the weapon that we were showing the BMJ. We said, we are not interested in a settlement with you guys. We want to see you in court, proving what you are saying and proving our point. And that is also the answer to this question, why did the British Medical Journal pay the record amount of £100,000? We've tried, our attorneys who are here tonight, they tried to find an incident where the BMJ had paid a higher amount than this one. We haven't been able so far to do this. So the analysis is very simple. The BMJ paid a record amount of money to avoid a public exchange of scientific arguments in a British court, comparing chemotherapy with the science-based natural approaches to cancer. Do you understand what that means? When I saw that this room tonight is not packed, I said to myself, we've had similar situations in Germany and other countries where the message that we deliver is so shocking that it takes people some time to believe it. They think this is a marketing gimmick. It's not. Well, let me just emphasize this last paragraph. Then when the BMJ was dragging its feet, we said, we're going to publish this open letter to Fiona Godley online, stating that we do not wish to settle this case, we want to see them in court. So we went into the offensive. So they went to court, the BMJ, and said, we are willing to pay £100,000 in order not to have the full case being heard. And the judge agreed to that because he probably felt that this is a huge amount and maybe there was a BMJ factor involved here too.